The stars moved slowly above, cold and silent. Humanity was still alive but weak. Once, Earth had been powerful, feared even by the galaxy, but now humans were just one of many small species under alien rule. No one remembered the old stories. No one remembered the great warrior who had saved Earth from destruction long ago. But Earth did not forget him. He was buried deep beneath the Arctic ice, in a frozen tomb built by human hands long ago. Machines surrounded him, silent, watching, waiting. His name was Commander Kyle, the last guardian of Earth, and now he was waking up. Somewhere high above the planet, a broken satellite blinked. It had not sent a signal in centuries, but today its systems came alive. One message went out across the stars. Guardian Protocol. Reactivate. The ice cracked. The ground shook. In a secret bunker, hidden from all maps, metal doors opened. Cold mist spilled into the room. Inside, a single pod began to glow. A body lay inside, perfectly still. Slowly, two eyes opened, bright blue like a burning star. Kale sat up. He gasped for air as the cryopod hissed open. His skin was pale. His muscles ached. But his mind was sharp. He looked around. The bunker was dusty, old, but still working. Lights flickered on. A robotic voice welcomed him. "Welcome back, Commander Kale." "How long was I asleep?" he asked. Time passed. 1,123 years. Kale said nothing. His jaw tightened. "Status report," he ordered. The AI spoke calmly. "Earth is stable. Part of the Galactic Union. No global military remains. Humanity has lost high technology. Warning. Unknown threat detected in outer space. Multiple colony signals lost. Enemy unidentified." Kale stood. He looked older now, but his body was strong. He grabbed his armor from a nearby wall. It was black, heavy, and built for war. As he suited up, he felt something strange, something cold. He looked up at the metal ceiling. Beyond it, far above, were the stars. And something was wrong with them. Kyle stepped out into the snow. The wind was sharp. The sky above him was dark, not with night, but with something else. The stars seemed dimmer, as if they were fading. He tapped a device on his wrist. "Activate ship beacon." Far above Earth, a cloaked ship received the signal. Its name was the Iron Star. It had waited in silence, orbiting Earth for centuries. Now, it powered up. Its engines roared to life. The old warrior looked up. "They're coming," he whispered. Far away, in a distant part of the galaxy, 3 colony ships were floating near a dying star. They had stopped responding days ago. No one knew why. Now we see the truth. Their hulls are ripped open. Their crews are gone. Not dead. Gone. As if pulled into the void itself. And in the middle of the wreckage, something moves. Not a ship, not a life form, a shadow. It moves without light, without sound. And it is watching Earth. Back on the planet, Kale enters his hidden command room. Holograms flash in front of him, maps of the galaxy, old Earth records, enemy species data. Everything looks wrong. Too much peace, too much trust. The galaxy had grown soft. A sound echoes in the bunker, a soft whisper, but there's no one else there. Kale's eyes narrow. "Show me the edge of known space." A hologram opens, showing the border near the dead star systems. Red dots appear. Ship after ship. Missing. He clenches his fists. "This isn't a random threat. This is a hunt." Then a new alert flashes. Incoming signal from Iron Star. Scans detect massive dark matter anomaly moving toward Earth's region. Speed, unknown. Origin, unknown. Kale turns toward the camera drone, recording his log. To anyone listening, Earth is not safe. This is not a time for peace. This is a time to remember who we are. He pauses. I am Commander Kyle, the last guardian of Earth, and I will stand again. As he walks toward the launch bay, the lights flicker once more. And somewhere, far in space, the shadow moves faster. Commander Kale stood inside the Iron Star, his old warship. The metal floors echoed under his boots. Every wall, every screen, every bolt felt like a memory. He looked out the window. Earth was below, peaceful, small, and quiet. Too quiet. A voice broke the silence. Commander, the ship's AI said, incoming message from the Galactic Union. Kale raised an eyebrow. They found out I'm awake already? Not exactly. They detected your ship leaving Earth. They are concerned. Kyle smirked. Of course they are. He sat in the command chair. The screen in front of him turned on, showing a council of alien leaders. Their faces were proud, cold, and distant. A female voice spoke first. Commander Kale, she said, you are operating an unauthorized military vessel. Earth is under Union protection. Explain yourself. Kale didn't blink. Explain myself? Where were you when 3 colonies went? Dark last week? The aliens looked at each other, unsure. That is under investigation, another one said. No, Kyle growled. That is a warning. Something is out there, something old. And you're all sleeping while it moves closer. They laughed. One alien with silver eyes leaned forward. You speak like a relic of war, Kyle. Earth has changed. We have peace now. Kale's voice dropped. Peace means nothing if you're blind. The signal cut off. Kale stared at the dark screen. He whispered to himself, they have forgotten, but I haven't. A forgotten past. Inside the Iron Star, Kale opened an old mission file, a hidden one, marked Classified Eater War. He watched recordings from over 1,000 years ago. Ships burning, planets falling, shadows tearing through fleets like paper, no form, no faces, only hunger. He remembered the last stand, where he had disobeyed Earth's leaders and sealed himself in cryosleep to stop the Eaters from finding Earth again. But now they were returning. The Eaters had waited. So had he. Meanwhile, in deep space, on the edge of the galaxy near a gas giant, a mining station floated in orbit. Dozens of workers were inside, laughing, eating, working. Then the lights flickered. All at once, every screen turned black. Every machine stopped. One man stood near the window. He looked out and saw nothing. No stars, no reflection, just blackness. Moving. And then, silence. Kale's mission begins. Kale stood in the ship's armory. He wore his full armor now, black-plated, glowing with blue energy lines. He picked up a strange round object, a drone, small and silent. The AI spoke again. Destination, Commander? Take me to the old relay station above Mars, Kale ordered. I need to see if any of the old tech still works. Affirmative. Launching now. As the Iron Star moved through space, Kale sat alone in the war room. Holograms surrounded him. Red marks showed missing colonies, empty space, silent planets. He looked at the stars again. They're feeding, he whispered. They're not. Just killing. They're eating light, the ship AI responded. Commander, should we warn the Galactic Union again? Kyle shook his head. No. Let them sleep. We'll wake them when it's too late. On Mars. The Iron Star docked at an old relay station orbiting Mars. Dust covered everything. No power, no signals. But Kale wasn't here for help. He was here for something else. In a locked chamber, he found it. A small device, shaped like, a star. He picked it up carefully. This is the beacon core, he said. If I activate this, every human ship in the galaxy will receive one message. The AI asked, Do you wish to activate it now? Kyle stared at the device. Not yet, he said. Not until they see what's coming. Final scene. Back aboard. The Iron Star. A deep alarm began to sound. Commander, the AI said, we have detected a massive energy wave. Direction, from the galactic edge. Speed, beyond known limits. Kyle stood. Visual? A live feed showed a black mass, moving, through space like a wave. Stars behind it vanished as it passed. They're here, Kale whispered. The AI spoke again. Should we run? Kale shook his head slowly. No, we don't run. We prepare. He looked into the camera, recording a message. To all humans, listening across the stars. This is not a drill. I am Commander Kale, Earth's guardian. If you value your life, find shelter. Arm your ships, because war is coming. He paused. And this time, we finish it. Story begins. Commander Kale stood at the control panel inside the Iron Star. The ship floated silently above Mars. Screens in front of him showed red markers blinking, one by one. Systems at the edge of the galaxy had gone dark. Give me a live scan, Kale ordered. The AI responded. 4 colony ships. No contact. 1 mining station. Offline. No life signs. Kyle clenched his jaw. Show me the last recording. The screen flickered. A video played. The mining station floated near a dead star. Lights inside flickered. Workers ran. Alarms blared. Then the cameras cut to static. But, for a moment, just 1 second before the feed died, Kale saw something. Not a ship, not a creature, a shadow, shaped like a wave, moving through space itself. No light escaped it, no stars shone behind it, only black. Kale stepped back. They're not ships, he said. They're alive. Meanwhile, in deep space, a small alien patrol ship drifted near the edge of known space. Inside, 2 officers laughed and played a strategy game. The pilot looked bored. Then their radar blinked. A strange signal. Silent. Cold. Unreadable. What is that? One of them asked. Before the other could answer, the stars outside vanished. It looked like someone had dropped a curtain across the sky. And then, the ship went silent. Back on the Iron Star, Kale walked into the war room. Old star maps hung on the wall. He tapped one section, the outer rim. Set course for the Vega Drift. That's where the last signal came from, he said. The AI hesitated. Commander, long-range scans detect massive unknown mass in that area. Life form status, undetectable. Recommend caution. Kale smiled grimly. Caution got us into this mess. Prepare for launch. Arrival at Vega Drift. The Iron Star arrived above the Vega Drift. Once a busy trade zone, now empty. No signals, no ships, just debris floating like bones in space. Kyle activated the ship's external lights. What he saw chilled him. Dozens of vessels, alien, human, cargo, and military, torn open, floating in silence. No explosions, no escape pods, just shredded metal, as if something huge had passed through and devoured everything. Kale whispered, They're not just killing. They're feeding. Suddenly the ship shook. Warning, the AI said. Unseen object approaching. Direction. All. All, Kyle repeated. The starfield outside began to shift. One by one, the stars vanished. Not from behind, but in every direction. Kale stared in shock. It's surrounding us. The whisper. The ship's lights flickered. Screens glitched. For a moment, everything went quiet. Then a voice spoke, not through speakers, but inside Kale's mind. You are awake. The guardian. The weapon. The failure. You were made to stop us, but you are alone. You cannot stop the hunger. Kale fell to one knee. His head pounded. Blood dripped from his nose. The voice was cold, empty. No emotion, no face, only pure, ancient hunger. Kale fights back. He slammed his fist against the floor. "I'm not afraid of you." The Iron Star's systems returned. Kale stood up slowly. "Record message," he said. The AI began to record. "To any humans, any allies hearing this, this is not a myth. The enemy is real. They're not invaders. They're devourers. They don't take land. They take light, air, memory. The stars themselves are falling. If you wait, it will be too late. I will fight. I will stand. Join me, or be erased from history." He stopped the recording and sent it through the old beacon core. Final scene. The Iron Star jumped away from the Vega drift, just in time. Behind it, a black mass swallowed the last bit of light. Back near Earth, Kale's warning began to spread. On forgotten worlds, old veterans woke up. On secret moons, human rebels listened closely. The Guardian had returned, and the darkness was no longer just a rumor. It was coming fast. Story begins. Commander Kyle stood quietly on the bridge of the Iron Star. The stars outside looked cold and distant, like they were fading. Behind him, the AI reported calmly, beacon core message delivered. Status: received by 3,208 ships. Most are civilian, a few military. Kyle nodded. Any responses? None yet. He stared at the dark sky. They don't believe. Not yet. Far across the galaxy, in a deep desert on planet Alien, a group of old soldiers sat around. A fire. They wore no uniforms, only scars. Most were drunk. One of them, an old man with one metal eye, stared at the night sky. Then his comm unit buzzed. He opened it. A message played. "This is Commander Kyle, Earth's Guardian. If you're hearing this, we are out of time." The man stood slowly. His hands trembled. The others watched as he reached into a locked box and pulled out something wrapped in cloth, a faded Earth flag, with blood on it. He looked at the others. "He's back," he said. "The war isn't over." Back on the Iron Star, the AI suddenly interrupted Kale's thoughts. "Commander, we have a response. One ship. En route." Kale raised an eyebrow. "Just one?" The screen lit up with the ship's name. The Dagger of Dawn. Kale narrowed his eyes. "That's not a civilian ship." Moments later, a call came through. A woman's voice spoke. "Kale, it's been a long time." Kyle smiled slightly. "Ari." Captain Ari Valen appeared on the screen. Her black armor was scratched. Her eyes were sharp. She was one of the last commanders of the old human fleet. "I saw your message," she said. "I didn't believe it. Until now." Kale nodded. "I need you. The Eaters are back." She didn't speak for a few seconds. Then she said, "How many ships do we need?" Kale looked out at the empty stars. "All of them." Meanwhile, in Union space, the Galactic Union met in their floating citadel above a gas giant. The alien leaders argued. "Commander Kyle must be stopped," one shouted. "He's spreading fear," another said. "He's waking up old war machines," a third warned. Then a new alert rang out. One of their own science ships, sent to investigate the edge of space, had gone missing. No signal, no debris, just gone. The room went silent. Finally, the silver-eyed alien leader stood. "Prepare our fleets," he said, "but don't tell the people." Kale's plan. On the Iron Star, Kale and Captain Ari stood together in the war room. Holograms of old human battle maps blinked on the table. "The Eaters are still afraid of one thing," Kyle said. "The signal towers." Ari frowned. "Those haven't worked in 800 years. "They can be fixed," Kyle said. And if we activate all 7, we can trap the Eaters in one sector. And destroy them? Ari asked. Kale nodded. If we're fast enough. But we don't have a fleet. Kale looked at her. Not yet. A dangerous mission. Begins. Their first target was Tower 1, located on a ruined moon near the Black Nebula. The Iron Star and Dagger of Dawn jumped into orbit. The moon was cracked and covered in ash. No light, no power. Kyle and Ari stepped onto the surface, weapons drawn. Inside, the tower. Everything was dead. But something had been here recently. Scratch marks, burnt walls, strange black ooze. Then a growl echoed through the halls. Kale raised his weapon. We're not alone. A shadow moved between the broken machines. Fast, silent. Ari fired her blaster. Nothing hit. The lights blinked. A horrible scream echoed. Through the tower. Final scene, Kale and Ari stood back to back, facing the dark. They're testing us, Kale said. Watching. Ari looked around. Let's give them something to watch. They opened fire. Sparks flew. Shadows screamed. The tower shook. Suddenly, the main console lit up. The tower's core was alive. The first signal tower was online. Kale smiled. 1 down, 6 to go. The signal from Tower 1 pulsed through space, loud, bright, ancient. From the command deck of the Iron Star, Kyle watched the signal reach distant stars. It's working, he said. Captain Ari Valen stood beside him. For now. But they heard it too. Just then, the ship's alarm rang. The AI voice spoke calmly. Warning, unidentified mass approaching from dark space. Speed, faster than light. Estimate, 6 minutes. Kale's expression turned cold. They're hunting us. Meanwhile, across the galaxy. On the distant moon Koros 9, 3 human scavenger ships picked up the signal. The captains argued about what it meant. Old Earth tech? A warning? Treasure? But before they could decide, the stars vanished above them. Something blocked the sky. Only one message was sent before all 3 ships were gone. They're not ships. They're shadows. Don't trust the dark. Back on the Iron Star, Kale and Ari gathered the small team they had, old soldiers, ex-mercenaries, and one battle android named Juno. Kale spoke with calm force. We need Tower 2. It's on a dead station in the Omega Belt. No power, no atmosphere, and no rescue. We land, fix it, and leave before they arrive. Ari looked at Juno. You ever fought a shadow? Juno's metal face didn't move. I have fought many things. Only a few still haunt me. These are one of them. The Omega Belt. The team arrived at Tower 2, floating inside the remains of a massive space station, once a trade hub, now a graveyard. As they entered the main corridor, their lights flickered. Stay close, Kyle ordered. No one splits up. Suddenly, the lights turned red. The doors behind them sealed shut. The AI on Kyle's wrist whispered, Power levels dropping, unknown interference. Detected, something is here. A deep growl echoed through the vents. The first encounter. From the shadows above, something dropped onto a soldier. He screamed, but only for a second. When they turned their lights, nothing was there. Only his weapon, and a dark stain. Ari gritted, her teeth. They're playing with us. Kale looked around. Then we stopped being prey. He pulled a metal cylinder from his belt, a pulse flare. He dropped it. The explosion filled the corridor with white-blue light. The shadows screamed and vanished, for now. A hard choice. They reached the control room, but the core was damaged. Juno scanned it. We need to manually reconnect the tower's link, but it must be done from outside. In vacuum? Ari asked. Yes, Juno replied. And fast. Kale didn't hesitate. I'll do it. Ari grabbed his arm. You'll die out there. Kyle gave her a hard look. Better me than the whole galaxy. Outside in the void, Kale floated in the blackness, connected by a thin cable. The stars were quiet. Too quiet. He moved carefully, fingers gripping the broken connectors. He could hear his own breathing in the suit. Then, movement. Something was out there. No ship, no form. Just hunger. Kale whispered, I know you're watching. He slammed the final connector. The signal tower lit up, blasting a pulse across. The stars. Escape under fire. Inside the station, shadows roared. Juno fought them off with energy blades. Ari fired until her gun overheated. Kale rushed back inside. Let's go! They reached the ship just as the station began to break apart. The Iron Star jumped away, seconds before something huge swallowed the station whole. Final scene. In deep space, a silent being, twisted, ancient, monstrous, opened its black eyes. It had been asleep for centuries. But now, it was awake. The second tower had rung like a bell, and the Eater King had heard it. Far beyond human space, in a void where light no longer shines, the Eater King floated in silence. His body was made of shadow, his voice a whisper across galaxies. He did not sleep. He waited, and now he remembers. The Guardian lives, the light returns. We must finish what we started. Back on the Iron Star, Commander Kyle stood at the war table, eyes locked on the galaxy map. 2 towers glowed bright. 5 more were dark. Captain Ari Valen walked in. The jump engines are ready. Kyle looked at her. We go to Tower 3, but it's worse than the others. Ari raised an eyebrow. What now? Kyle showed the data. It's on Narak 6, an Earth colony we abandoned after the collapse. It's cursed. No one's gone there in 200 years. Juno spoke from behind them. That is incorrect. Some have gone. None returned. The journey to Narak 6. The Iron Star jumped into orbit around Narak 6. The planet was covered in gray clouds and lightning. Old cities lay in ruin. Wind howled like voices. Kyle, Ari, Juno, and 2 soldiers flew down in a dropship. The surface was cold, dead. Broken towers reached into the sky like bones. Kale pointed. That's the signal tower, inside the main city. Ari frowned. Let's move, and stay sharp. Inside the dead city. As they moved through the streets, the team saw shadows frozen in place. Statues of people turned to ash. One soldier whispered, "What happened here?" Juno answered, "Not what. Who?" Suddenly a whisper echoed through the streets. "Guardian, I remember you. You broke our hunger once, but now you are alone." Kale raised his weapon. "Show yourself." From the dark, something massive crawled into view. Not a ship, not a man. A creature made of bones, armor, and black fire. Its face was a mask of screaming skulls. Its voice shook the ground. "I am the herald of the king. You light towers. We bring darkness. The battle begins. The Bobit team opened fire. Blasters lit up the streets. The herald screamed and attacked. One soldier was caught and turned to dust in seconds. Juno charged with twin plasma blades, slashing at the creature's limbs. Ari threw energy mines. Kyle ran toward the tower. "Keep it busy," he shouted. Inside the tower, Kyle reached the control panel. It was broken, like someone had ripped it apart. He pulled out old wires, tools, and a backup power cell. Outside, Juno was thrown through a wall. Ari barely dodged a blast of black fire. Kyle shouted, "Almost there!" The herald turned and roared. It charged into the tower, ready to destroy everything. Kale slammed the last wire into place. The tower lights. Up, a beam of white light exploded from the top of the tower. The herald screamed in pain. It began to burn, slowly, like fire melting ice. Kale stepped forward. "Tell your king, I'm coming." The creature fell apart, its shadow form breaking into smoke. Escape from Narak 6. The team ran back to the dropship. The ground behind them cracked. The planet itself seemed to roar. They flew into the sky as the third tower pulsed across space. From orbit, Kale watched as the old city collapsed into itself. 3 towers, he said quietly. We're halfway there. Final scene. In the deepest part of the universe, the Eater King moved. His body covered whole star systems. His eyes were like black holes. Around him, hundreds of his children, shadows, beasts, devourers, opened their wings. "Enough hiding," the king whispered. "Let the stars burn. Let the guardian fall." And then he began to move toward Earth. The iron star returned to Earth orbit. Kale stood in the command room, staring down at his home planet. Green, blue, alive. Ari Valen walked in. "All towers are active. 6 signals are pulsing. The net is almost complete." Kale nodded. "The last tower is here." She looked down. "On Earth?" Kale spoke quietly. "It was the first one ever built. The heart of the defense system." "The key." Juno turned from the console. "Enemy fleet detected. Hundreds of signals. Estimated time to arrival, 20 minutes. Kyle looked at Earth one more time. "Then this is it. The final stand." Across the globe, governments sent out alerts. Old bunkers opened. Defense cannons powered on. Drones filled the sky. Millions looked up and saw the stars go dark. The Eater King had arrived. His body was bigger than Earth's moon. His fleet blotted out the sky, living ships made of bone, teeth, and shadow. A voice echoed across every device on the planet. "I gave you mercy once. You refused. Now, I give you silence." Kyle's message to humanity. Kyle stood before the final tower deep under Earth's surface. A camera hovered in front of him. He spoke to the world. "I was once your protector. Then I was forgotten, but I never left. Today the darkness returns. But this time, we fight. Together. The final battle begins." The Eater fleet opened fire. Earth's skies lit up. Orbital defenses tried to hold the line. But they were too many. Kyle, Ari, and Juno launched in their fighter. They led Earth's last fleet, old warships, pirates, scavengers, civilians, all united. "We aim for the king," Kyle shouted. "Cut off the head, and the body dies." They flew straight into the enemy swarm. Inside the final tower. On Earth, the signal tower was under attack. Shadow creatures dropped from the sky, crawling toward the core. A group of young soldiers defended the control room with everything they had. One of them, a girl named Lisa, grabbed the final key. "For Earth," she whispered, and turned the system on. All 7 towers now pulsed together, forming a massive net across space. The Eater King falls. Kale reached the core of the Eater King's body, fighting through beasts, fire, and pain. He planted a final weapon. A pulse, core made from the tower's energy. The king laughed. "You cannot destroy me. I am the end of all things." Kyle looked up, blood on his face. "Maybe, but humanity never gives up." He slammed the switch. The towers fired at once. A blast brighter than any sun spread across space. The king screamed. And then, silence. Final moments. The iron star floated through debris. The sky cleared. Ari whispered, "Did we win?" Juno scanned. "The Eater King is gone. The fleet is dead. The stars are safe." Kale stood quietly, his eyes on Earth. He pressed the comm. To anyone listening, humanity is still here. We remember who we are, and we will never kneel. Closing scene. Earth rebuilt. Children played under open skies. Statues were raised of Kale, Ari, Juno, and the soldiers who gave everything. Above the planet, the seven towers still shined.